Hey lovely people of the internet, so I'm currently recovering from a cold, so you'll have to bear with my lovely groggy, slightly sore throat voice that I'm currently rocking today. However, I really wanted to get this video out in time for Halloween, so without further ado, let's move on to my top 10 Disney villains. In at number 10 is Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove. I think I love the fact that her and Kronk, who's her sidekick, they're fairly useless as villains, and I think that is what I find particularly endearing about them as characters. Yzma tries so hard to be evil, and I mean, she has the look down, but she's not overly successful in the way that she wants to be, so that's why she makes my top 10. At 9 is Edgar from the Aristocats. I think it's the fact that he's a completely harmless and nice character up until the moment he realises that the inheritance that he thought he would be getting is going to go to cats. And then he comes up with quite an evil plan around cats. And yeah, I think as a villain that just makes me really laugh, and that's why I like Edgar as a Disney villain. At 8 is Captain Hook. I think it's his weaknesses that I find particularly amusing about Captain Hook as a Disney villain. He's quite evil, although he's a little bit more on the flamboyant side sometimes, but then it's the fact that he is petrified of cocks and this crocodile. Yeah, and I think it's just that, and it's just his reactions, the facial expressions that Disney animated for him in reaction to his worst fears are just brilliant. At 7 is Captain Gantu from Lilo and Stitch. I think it's the way he interacts with his sidekick. I've forgotten the name of the experiment now, which really, no, Reuben, that's it. It's the way he reacts with Reuben, and the fact that Reuben is such this chilled out Disney sidekick, Disney villain sidekick, and then Captain Gantu is just such a serious Disney villain, and I think it's just the way they go together makes Captain Gantu in my top 10. In at 6 is Madame Mim from The Sword and the Stone. I think I just love how wacky she is. She's a lot unhinged, I think, for a Disney villain. And so she's not necessarily evil, I think she is just quite mad. But yeah, and I just love how that just annoys Merlin, and yeah, I think in my mind that makes her a brilliant Disney villain. At number 5 is Cruella. I think I love her because she's just fabulous, and then she kind of loses it as she goes through, and I think it's that scene when she's in the car and she literally looks mad. I think that's a brilliant scene. Yeah, and again I think it's a bit like Edgar. It's the fact that she has this obsession with these puppies, and it's like, why? Like, you could be doing so much more with your life, but you have become obsessed with these puppies. In at 4 is Ursula from The Little Mermaid. Again, I love her because she's fabulous and she's sassy. I mean, I know the character was inspired by a famous drag queen. But yeah, I think that's what I love about her, and it's just her overall character is just brilliant. I mean, Poor Unfortunate Souls is probably one of my favourite Disney villain songs. And The Little Mermaid is one of my favourite films, so she had to make it into my top 10 to be fair. But yeah, I think she's just brilliant as a Disney villain. She is probably one of the more like classically evil, like she's not just mad, she is quite evil and she's just power hungry. So yeah, she had to be in my top 10. At 3 is Mother Gothel from Tangled. I love Tangled, so again, she probably had to be one of my top Disney villains. But I think what I like about Mother Gothel is she is very confident in herself. She thinks she's amazing. I mean, she's regularly putting down Rapunzel because she thinks she's like brilliant. But yeah, and I love her song, Mother Knows Best. That's another brilliant Disney villain song in my opinion. Yeah, and I think she just gets some of the best lines. She gets some really funny lines, I think, so yeah. And then she is pretty evil. Like, she's very good at hiding her evil, but she is definitely a good evil character. In the number 2 spot is Scar from The Lion King. I love Jeremy Irons as an actor, so I think the fact that he is the voice of Scar makes me like him as a Disney villain in particular. And then I think it's also the fact he does get some brilliant lines. He's definitely got that villain thing going for him, the fact that, yeah, you know, he wants to be king. I can kind of see why that's, you know, that's actually quite a legitimate reason to be quite so obsessed with your villainous purpose. But yeah, and then the scene with him and Zazu is trying to entertain him. I love that scene. Makes me crack up every time. So yeah, I do. Scar is definitely one of my top 10 villains. And in the number 1 spot is Hades from Hercules. What sums it up for me about why I like him is he is often likened to the sassy gay best friend when it comes to the advice that he gives Megara regarding guys, and I think he's just brilliant. He really does have some of the funniest lines. His interactions with Pain and Panic are just hilarious. I mean, Hercules makes me laugh the entire way through, but I think Hades as a character definitely makes it, so he has to be my number 1 Disney villain. And as always, I have some bonuses because I just can't help myself. I wanted to do a special mention to what I would probably consider to be the 2 most evil Disney villains. First up is Hans, just because of the fact, from Frozen, just because of the fact that he is probably the only Disney villain who completely and utterly hides the fact that he is evil right up until the end. And in my mind, that makes him incredibly evil. So yeah, special mention for Hans. And then the other one is the Horned King from the Black Cauldron. Now, I was a weird child who wasn't scared of things like that, so the Horned King didn't bother me. But as a Disney villain, I'm actually surprised he is a Disney villain, because he is actually super creepy, and I'm sure there are plenty of people who found him terrifying as a child, and children who still do. So yeah, it does make me wonder that he actually is a Disney villain, because he is probably one of the most outright terrifying ones. So yeah, special mention. So I hope you enjoyed this top 10. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know your favourite Disney villains, because I would love to hear about them. If you did enjoy this video, do hit that thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, do hit subscribe. I will pop a link around here to my top 10 Disney villain sidekicks video that I did, and my last video, which was my Disney villain nail up, in case that interests you and might be useful for you for Halloween or a villain Disney bound. And I will see you in my next video. See ya!